The following is a special presentation of iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Good evening, welcome to LSRTV and the Sunwest Construction Superspeedway Cup Series here. We're at Talladega and my gosh, this is going to be a good one today. We've got some fantastic weather for the racing and well, qualifying is just in the books for us here tonight. It's Rachel and Cisco joining you tonight up here in the booth and well, we're getting ready for laps of action tonight. Today's race, of course, Talladega, 75 laps for this one. Around this 2.666 recurring mile lap here at Talladega, and we have a stage of course at lap 40. As onwards we're going to get ready with the cars now. I believe this is heading out for their solo qualifyings on track. They are indeed. Cisco, this track, it's always one of those situations where you just have the most action. Talladega never disappoints.
Yeah, the racing room definitely benefits the drivers, allows them to be a little bit more adventurous, we'll say, on the racetrack. But coming into tonight, already starting to take a look at that points format. You look at your top 15, your top 12, keep in mind, are the ones moving on into your Superspeedway Cup playoffs. And Mark Jurgensen Jr., Gary Champion, Glenn Hedrick, they don't have to worry about it. They've won, they're in, they're locked in. They just have to maintain top 25 in points. And you got Rodney Wofford there. He kind of falls off the points graphic a little bit. He is your points leader, as they were. And then Spencer Preet, Scott Warren, Andrew Berger, Seth the Merchant, Michael Cozy Jr., Frank Basilia, Lucas Cram, Justin Levine. That's your 12 guys in the field. And then you got right on the outside, Champion, Flag, and Rittenauer the second. Still very early on, but it's already a good idea to start taking a look at that points graphic and start trying to figure out who's going to be in a good position as we head down the stretch and who's going to have to make their way up and gain a few more points if they want to be safe here.
Absolutely are, of course. Let's not forget last week, of course, Cisco, Daytona 07, and what a race we had. The stage race was probably the most dramatic end to a stage I've ever seen, as Seth the Merchant took the stage win, of course, wrecking across the line as he did so. In fact, he did it in the grass, and Gary Champion took the flag at the end. It was a fantastic race, but today, oh, that's all out the window.
And what I think the difference we'll see in this is, because the stage race and this race in general is about, it's a little bit shorter than the Daytona race. That's a 2.5 mile oval, this is a 2.6, but we're running about 15 less laps than we did last week. It's going to be a case where these guys, it's going to be a little bit more of a sprint. And of course, fuel strategy going to be a little bit different than it was at Daytona. We still have our number, though, that we have to shoot for on laps before we need a pit stop. So we'll be watching for that. But they're still going to need a pit stop before they get to that first stage break. So something to keep in mind and to watch here as the race goes on.
Certainly is, of course. And, well, Mark Jurgensen Jr. topping the timing at the moment ahead of Rodney Wofford. So that's a first for the books. Normally, Rodney Wofford tops our timing and scoring. But, of course, we are on to race number 4 here in the season. And, wow, this season's already running down very, very quickly. More so than we expected. And, of course, this series is brought to you by Sunwest Construction. This year's title sponsor, of course, founded in 1986 and has grown into the premier construction development company on the west coast of Florida. Over the past 30 years, they've built and developed over 1,700 condominium units and now specialize in mid-high-rise developments as well as commercial buildings and hotels alongside Marriott and Hampton Inns. Of course, Sunwest Construction, the title sponsor for the series this season. And, well, it's been a very exciting season for them so far this time round, Cisco. These races, 4 rounds in, including the duels as well. Not including the duels, I should say. This one's been crazy so far.
Yeah, it has. And of course, Sunwest Construction, also sponsor for Robbie Lyons, who will be making his plate racing debut in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series over at Daytona, and has been spending a lot of time on the sim and as many times as he can get into his vehicle as he can. And of course, we'll see him out there tonight. So keep an eye out for that driver out on track. But before we go down to the starting grid, there is something I did want to actually ask you, and this isn't about the series at all. This is actually concerning real life, because I want to get your take on it, because we have a little bit of time to kill. Natalie Decker got the pole in the ARCA 200 that's going to be coming up here on Saturday. I want to get your thoughts on that. She's driving as part of Venturini Motorsports and has some really good equipment. What are your kind of initial thoughts on that and Natalie's performance out on the real side over at Daytona?
Well, of course, you know, that's a great team to have behind you. Like you said, great equipment, so that's always a good shot with the car. But hey, being on pole in a Superspeedway race doesn't necessarily guarantee you a good chance of winning the race. Unfortunately, that's one of those things. It's a great place to start, especially in ARCA. Starting as close to the front is probably a good chance of finishing high, because you're not going to be involved in the inevitable wrecks. But it's fantastic to see a woman on the pole at Daytona again. You know, it doesn't matter what series it is, it's fantastic. She's got a lot of talent, she's going places, and I'm looking forward to seeing what her career does.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be someone to watch on the real side of things. That'll be Saturday on Fox Sports. You can catch that on Fox Sports Go on several different platforms.
Back.
Yep, NASCAR is back. We're excited.
Oh, hell yeah, we're excited. It's going to be fantastic. Looking forward to this season, of course, and IndyCar. Don't forget IndyCar. IndyCar, the new cars for this year. They're gorgeous. But we shouldn't talk about IndyCar in a NASCAR broadcast. We'll move swiftly on, like I wasn't talking about the competition series there. But Mark Jorgensen Jr. will have our poll for tonight as we're going to go through your starting grid. Up on front, like we said, Mark Jorgensen Jr. shares front row with Rodney Wofford in second place. It's Michael Cozy Jr. and Josh Hanna in row number 2, Rod Flagg inside row number 3.
We got Frank Basilia starting 6th, 7th. Going to be Scott Warren and Corey Henry, and rounding out row number 5 in your top 10 is going to be Gary Champion and Chris Bassini.
P number 11 tonight, of course, will be Joseph Junkins with Spencer Breed, Andrew Berger, Justin Levine, and Ramon Evans in 15th place.
Yeah, then you got Victor Bartlett in the 42, going to start 16th. 17th going to go to Robbie Lyons. Talked a bit about him earlier. 18th going to go to Glenn Hedrick. 19th to Jake Champion. And Travis Brown, the 01, rounds out your top 20.
21st place tonight, of course, is TJ Buck with Kyle Ranger, Corey Smith, Chris Patton, Richard Reagan Jr.
Then you got Mike Thiel in 26th. 27th to Jason Altmans. 28th to Harry Tiller. 29th. Looks like a couple DNSs for 29th. And there we go. I'm going to cycle out about 3 cars missing from that grid. But Mike Schultz going to be 30th. 31st to TJ Crank. 32nd going to go to, and I just clicked past it, Dan Harrington going to start 33rd. And yeah, it was a little bit, we had a couple cars that were not taking the grid and actually left the session a little bit early. I think that was Frank Basilia, maybe had a little bit of a family thing, but looks like it's going to be David Warren in the 36, going to start 31st. So that's your full field rundown here as the cars begin to roll. A pace lap here from Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama, and getting ready for a 75 lap main event. 40 laps, of course, going to be the end of your first stage. So keep an eye out for that. And Rachel already begin to roll here.
Certainly are, of course, and they're about to head across the line here. Of course, that start-finish line at Talladega, don't forget, in turn 1. Makes the ends of these races always super exciting. So we're going to be looking forward to seeing what these guys will pull for us tonight, of course. And it's going to be an exciting run to the end of this thing, as 75 laps will fly by in no time if we don't have any cautions. But it's Talladega. When does that happen? Oh wait, last time we came here, actually we had a fairly green flag race this go. So do they buck the trend this time out and play dodgems?
Let's hope not, because I'd like to get back to the Old Republic here before too long. So we'll just have to see how they sort things out here. But down the backstretch we go, and familiar spot for Mark Jorgensen. And keep in mind, of course, he has a win. He's good to go. He just needs to stay up in the points battle, and he's good to go into your playoffs in the 2018 season 16 of the Superspeedway Cup Series. We head towards turn number 3, and still getting used to seeing Rodney Wofford in a good wrench paint scheme. Usually used to seeing the Race Fan Racing colors on that car, but shades of another former driver of this series, and the Oreo paint scheme too. So man, I'm getting hungry a little bit.
We certainly are, of course, and looking forward to a fantastic run through this one. And well, these guys always have the most interesting cars out on the track, of course, and looking forward to seeing how this one does go down. It's a bit weird when they start changing their colours, of course, because it got to the point last season where I recognised them by their liveries, and now they're all changing again.
I got news for you. How about this? The 37 of Spencer Preet has a sponsor on board. That's
My
new.
God, Spencer Preet has a sponsor? What is this?
I tell you what,
magic?
running up front that last week has done some good. It looks like it's JBR on the car for him, so that's kind of cool to
yeah,
see.
he never has sponsors. He's always a blank car, I'm used to seeing. Either way, we're looking forward to this one kicking off. We're headed pace cars onto pit road now, and into the trioval will come Mark Johnson Jr., Rodney Wofford, your front row for tonight, and let's get ready to go loud here at the Sunwest Construction Superspeedway Cup, Talladega style, and the green flag will fly. And it's a great start by Wofford on the outside. Actually, there's a good gap there. Johnson Jr. will lead across the line here into turn number 1, realistically, as he won't get clear though, because the number 2 Hanna can't quite get up to him. But this is Josh Hanna, of course, who is a veteran speedway racer. Not normally in this series, but he has been in the past.
Yeah, and Hanner made his triumphant return this week. Posted a couple messages in the Facebook group letting them know, hey, I'm back. So the Miller Lite color is back on board, the number 2, and it's good to see Josh, the former team boss of Hannerick Motorsports, back in the car and looking fast as always. Side by side, the 12 of Corey Henry gets shuffled up to the top side. They're going to go 3 wide in this back, but that's okay because we're at Talladega, a little bit more space to do that. And he's dropping like a rock, the 12 is, and at the line, it looks like it's going to be Mark Jorgensen Jr. getting help from Michael Cozy Jr. The juniors 1 and 2 right now as we head back to number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. The 12 car, I think, dropping back because he thinks something might kick off in this thing. He's one of those guys that can often sense things going down, so he moves himself out of line as the low side gets a good advantage here. It's Bassini, it is the number 2, and it's the number 3, of course, on the outside there. So 3, 2, 1, really, in the wrong order. Well, actually, no. We have 3, 2, 1, 4. And that's been ruined by Rod Flagg, who comes up there in the 23 car and heads that line. We nearly had 1, 2, 3, 4 there for a second. I was hoping we could get the 4 car of Justin Levine to the front of that outside group, and it would have been perfect. But oh, Cozy Jr. makes a move. Jorgensen comes up to have a look at him as Rod Flagg went up to a 3rd lane for some unknown reason and will go up high on his own. Jorgensen under heavy attack right now as Cozy Jr. leads the outside line into turn 1, and they've got a strong run here. They'll have a really good chance on the backstretch. Cisco wants to come out of T without momentum.
Yeah, and Cozy up on the top side trying to make things happen for himself there. And you mentioned the numbers, and that tells me one thing, and it's that those 3 probably going to be working together. They have similar paint schemes in terms of, I believe those are all Cassini-made paint schemes, and by that, I would assume that they're going to all work together. Well, relatively speaking, we say in this series work together. They're probably going to all stab each other in the back if they come 1, 2, 3 to the white flag, but we'll just have to keep an eye on them side by side, though. Mark Jorgensen down on the bottom side, and it's Scott Warren giving the push to the driver of the 88 at the line. No, Cozy takes it. First lap led for the driver of the 77, and sponsors continuing to appear on board that car as well.
The old 33 got a bit of the wall action there for himself as he manages to hold that car down. Nope, he's had issues and looks like he took off through the catch fencing there. We'll catch back up to him and see where he's gone this time. Spencer Preet's sponsor was so heavy the car couldn't stay on the track. But either way, we'll have a look now as Cozy Jr. on the outside still leading that group there. Wofford along with Hanna, Passini and Levine now on the outside lane pushing onwards. Flagg managed to find himself a spot on the outside line, a little bit further back, but he's still in contention as we're starting to see a breakaway really with our top 12 or 13 drivers in this one. As, yeah, someone rightly mentions in the chat, of course, Cisco, no demotion this week, of course.
That might be taking a break. Obviously, after the run he had last week, it's going to be a little bit frustrating, and I think knowing in the position he was in, he's probably going to be able to be okay in terms of he'll probably get a win here before too long. So I wouldn't worry too much about the driver of the number 57. And I do know that he'll be staying with these guys in terms of going into the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. So he definitely will be hanging around here. Maybe just taking the week off, getting some shut-eye here on a Friday night. But continuing to be a big pack, and then a second pack starting to form behind these guys, being led by the 01 of Travis Brown. That's starting to kind of get split off from your main pack there. You hop on board the 01 and starting to drive away is that car in front, Justin Levine, that number 4.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we have to see if they can get themselves pulling again, because that train needs a little bit of help here. This group with Levine, of course, bringing up the rear of it. They are, well, oh, problems on the backstretch as we get our first caution of the day here on lap number 6. As well, it looks as though, yeah, Champion wrapped himself around Piscini and put them both in the outside safer barrier. Only 2 cars involved, though, I believe, as that could have been a lot worse than it actually was.
Yeah, last week's winner running into issues early on here, and it might have been off the front bumper of the 80. No, he actually just came up to the track right into Piscini. Car got a little bit tight, and just like that, his car is going to get destroyed. Piscini takes a lot of damage there. Not a whole lot he could do. He was basically just a passenger. And then Jason Altman comes in out of nowhere and absolutely decks the driver of the 18. So that will be some big time cleanup for Altman's as well. So 3 of those cars going to have to use their quick repairs early on here from Talladega.
Certainly is, of course, and well, under caution for the first time here. We'll be on lap 10 or so when we get back to green, no lap down cars at the moment. So this one will get sorted through fairly quickly. Jason Altman's, of course, was actually dropped from the pack, so he's, oh no, he's heavily damaged. Actually, he got caught up in that one. The 97 of Altman's heavily damaged. He will have his backup car rolled out ready waiting for him because he needs that one at this point, but Costa Jr. will lead us at this point to the head of Jorgensen Jr., so we have a contender.
Yeah, and we'll have to see after we get the green flag back how these guys are going to shake themselves out, because I'm not expecting to see pit stops, and if we do, it's probably going to be mainly a fuel stop. So we'll have to see coming out of turn 4 this time. Like I said, I don't think we'll see any, but if you're at the back of the field, it's more a case of, well, why not? Because you know you're going to have to pit here. And actually, no, I'm dead wrong. Everybody's coming to pit road. So it looks like the fuel is that big of an issue here, Rachel, where this fuel window with the stage, with us only being about 5-6 laps into it, that's 5 or 6 laps extra fuel you could bring with you and maybe try to stretch it out here on maybe one last stop before we get to the end of the stage.
Well, you're borderline, really, with a 40-lap caution, of course. It's just about makeable, but this takes the guesswork out of this game, of course, Cisco. These guys come down now. It puts them in a position where lap 26, 27 is our remit for pit stops in this stage. And you can go to the end very well good there, but it's 6 laps. That's about a quarter of your fuel run. You're definitely coming in after that point because it's just a case of fuel economics. That's a quarter of extra time you can spend on track.
Yeah, and 3 cars choosing not to head down pit road. That's Mike Thiel you see up on the top side. He might be dropping kind of into your pack here, seeing what's going on with him. And then you got 2 cars who stayed out, the 23 of Rod Flagg and the 21 Glenn Hedrick. And Glenn has had a mixed season so far, not only in this series, but also in the Barstool Sports Truck Series. Has not been particularly popular with some of the drivers if you watch the social media feeds that particular week, but has definitely been a staple mark of this series and definitely someone I want to keep an eye on, because with that added a little bit sort of aggression from the rest of the field, it allows him to be able and have a reason to go out there and prove the doubters wrong and say, hey, you know what, I can do this and I can win at this level. And Glenn has been a part of this series for a really long time, and I wouldn't expect anything less from any driver that's been as tenured as he has in the series.
Absolutely, a driver like that really is one of those ones that you need to always keep an eye on. Things can go wrong for them, but they sometimes always find a way of making things back to the front, and they get this one going again. And honestly, I love seeing all these guys pull out the hat when they're really up against the fence. Cisco makes these races super exciting for us, of course. And well, this does bring us down now to about, when we go back to green, 30 laps to go for this stage. And that's a really short amount of time. We should see a really good fight to the end of this thing. But if we get a caution, of course, after about 5 to 7 laps, we're running green till the end of the stage. These guys don't need to stop, of course.
Yeah, and this is gonna, if it stays green, this is gonna put Rod and Glenn in kind of a lose-lose situation because they may have to make that extra stop. It'll be close, but I'm not feeling too good about their chances. If they get a caution, that's definitely gonna help them out and make this a whole lot easier. So light's gonna go out this time, though. We assume on the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace cars across the start-finish line. Yes, they will. And they'll line them up 2 by 2 by 2. Hedrick, Flag, both didn't pit. Then you got Jorgensen and Cozy, third and fourth. And behind them, Rodney Wofford, Scott Warren, as well as Junkins and Hanner back there as well. And Andrew Berger, throw him into that mix as well. The DuPont Chevrolet has already made his way up to your field, and already seeing Hedrick already trying to save a little bit of fuel on the bottom side there, Rachel. You can definitely tell fuel is on the mind of the driver of the 21 right now.
Absolutely is, but it's a very unusual time to be thinking about it, of course, but one difficult decision there for him to stay out. I'm not sure why he chose to do that. He's not around anybody else who did it, so if I'd have been in that position, I actually would have given up some positions on the track and come down, you know, the next lap over, of course, and topped off that tank, because I've realized I made a strategy error. But you never know, we could get a rapid caution, because cautions do breed caution, Cisco. Well, it's not even just a monkey at this point, it's basically fact.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And pace car getting ready to head these guys to 3 and 4. A couple stragglers catching on to the rear of your field. It looks like that's Gary Champion, who has used his fast repair but finds himself back in 27th after that accident. And then TJ Cray in the driver, the driver of the number 99, also catching up as well. And Kyle Manger. So all of those guys having to come back around. I think Manger came down for a little bit extra gas, but the rest of them, I believe, came down to get some damage fixed after that first caution. Is Cozy going to go back up to your top of your track? And it appears we've lost Mark Jorgensen Jr.
Appears we have. Whoopsie. 88 is unfortunately going to be 80 late. Back to the restart, I think, at this one, as we get our bad punt for the night out of the way here. As the pace car will pull off this time by and leave the field under the command of Hedrick. And now, well, Rod Flag up on the outside. That's juggled our lanes around a little bit, as people are a little bit confused, it seems, as to where they're going. Preet up on the outside lane on his own. Didn't know it was a 3-wide restart. This is in Indianapolis. Spencer Preet, field in the command here of Glenn Hedrick. A little bit lighter on fuel, which might actually make him a little bit slower, of course. But that spoiler, a little bit further up in the air than the rest of the cars. The green flag will fly, and Rod Flag doesn't quite get a good launch there, but behind him, Cozy Jr. does.
A monumental push there from Cozy as they head back to turn number 1 once again. Cozy now going to drop out of Rod Flag's rear view mirror there and drop to the inside. So Flag all of a sudden went from having the best friend ever to having no friends, and is now going to get picked up by Scott Warren, who was pushing him last time out during the green flag. So looks like a little bit of teamwork going on right now between the 76 and the 23. Meanwhile, up at the front, single file, top 4, and it's Junkins right now, the last car in front. Oh, throw Bartlett in that as well. He's going to be able to clear flag and jump up actually in front of the 23, and also going to go to the 77 of Cozy. So Cozy trying to look for more, as Bartlett trying to get that front line back towards the front here. In the top line. It
certainly is, as they're going to get themselves sorted out here and moving, and Bartlett is pulling them forwards here. Cozy not quite got the power, but here comes the 3. Carter can get things done, and Wofford, Hedrick moves up to kind of cover the outside line, check the momentum, but it's not going to help him because the 3 gets a big head of steam here, and past they will go. Will he bring Cozy? I think Wofford actually might be intending to try. Not sure you'll clear him by the line, and he realizes he has to pull down now, does so. And Wofford to the sharp end.
Yeah, Wofford to the sharp end, and you got Cozy kind of sitting in no man's land now, but he is going to get a little bit of a boost there from the 42 of Victor Bartlett, so Cozy still has help from the Napa Chevrolet, and coming through the tri-oval once again. Cozy won't quite be to the door of the 3, but getting close. If he hangs tough on the outside, might be able to do something. Back to turn number 1 we go. Thiel got a little bit loose on the bottom side. The 61 machine was able to bring it back on track no issues there, but already starting to spread out as this top field, as looks like a little bit of a breakaway through your field has kind of shuffled everybody up. I wonder if there was a little bit of a checkup that maybe caused that, but as the 3 of Wofford jumps to the bottom side, no, he's gonna get turned. It's Youngkins over once, and caution is out, barrel rolling. Rod Flag, Josh Hanner, more.
This is one of those classic issues where a car gets pushed up to the bumper of the car in front and the car pushing doesn't let off, and the 61 did just that. He pushed, and unfortunately it kind of bit him as everything went flying now in a big junk towards the front of the field. But wow, 21 gets his prayer answered. Here we go, lap 12. It's not going to be far enough to make it run to the end on 1 tank of gas territory, says Sco, but it's he's probably definitely coming back in. I think everybody else will do the same.
Yeah, and we talk about that issue, Rachel, and it's a case these cars aren't transparent. You can't see through the guy in front of you, and I think was an extremely aggressive move by both Youngkins and Thiel to try and get up to the front. Wofford came down to block, and they just didn't stop. And as far as that goes, not sure who Rod's going to put that on, but either way, just kind of a racing deal there, and unfortunate because I think Wofford had the best intentions there, but it all got turned sideways as soon as he came down the racetrack. I don't think he meant for that to happen, just wanted to block the lane, and the guys behind him were on too big of a run there to really do anything at that point.
Absolutely. It's one of those situations you often see in these cases where there's not really much, like you say, they can do. They're boxed in, and once something happens on the low side, on the top side are basically at the mercy of where the cars end up, because there's literally no way you can maneuver. You got a wall, you got cars below you, you're boxed in. And this is why Superspeedway racing, the wrecks tend to be so spectacular, is because at 200 plus miles an hour, these guys just can't really. There's no way you can react in time for something that big. Oh, you gotta go fast, you gotta turn left, but there's nowhere to go. As here we go, the cars heading towards pit road. Will people come in? No, they're all going to come in now. A couple faked there, including Wofford leading the fakers. But it seems like everyone's going to hit pit road here to top up that fuel tank and get themselves ready to roll. Quite a few of these guys, unfortunately, they'll have some damage after the big smash there into 3.
Yeah, and may have to save the fast repair, and don't want to use it this early. Still have 62 laps to go this time by, and for a lot of these guys, you kind of have that debate with yourself, Rachel. Do you use your fast repair if it's only optional damage, or do you save it expecting a bigger accident later on? After seeing these races, I'd probably save it. Depends on how serious the damage is, but if your car is going to be a potato for once you come off, once you head back out on track and you kind of realize it is, it might be worth to use that fast repair now and just kind of pray that nothing bad happens later on.
I think you've almost got to, because damage on Superspeedway is nearly always fatal. If it's not because the engine's loud on power, it's because you've got some drag on that machine, and any drag here is hugely detrimental. You cannot get out front. You will get freight trained. If you get even close to being dropped, you're gone. You have no suck up once you have some damage on the front end of these cars. And unfortunately, most of it happens to the front ends because no one's had managed J-turn yet on the track and hit with the back.
And one car going to stay out. It is going to be Robbie Lyons in the 15, and that means he's going to be able to lead a lap, and probably going to start from the top of the field here. And I mentioned it during the pre-race show, but Robbie also making his debut on the big tracks, and this upcoming Speed Weeks here, and it'll be his first major plate race that he'll be taking part in a very similar painted, I believe he'll be in the 49 for that particular race, but a Sunwest construction machine there. So kind of parallels between this and the real side. And Robbie's one of these guys who's, you know, doesn't have a big corporate sponsor, but Sunwest has been with him for a very long time, as has Barstool Sports. Both of those sponsors being able to get Robbie rides and, you know, these groups like Premium and such like that, and, you know, has been able to use a little bit of his time on the sim to kind of get the handle of racing on these plate tracks, because you don't get a lot of that practice, Rachel. You can't just call up 5 buddies and say, oh yeah, let's go get cars and test at Daytona, because, well, you can't do that anymore thanks to NASCAR rules. The sim and other sims like it are really your only way to practice drafting anymore.
And you know what's a fantastic thing for drivers like Robbie Lyons? Fantastic thing for them is, whilst they don't get a lot of TV coverage in the actual series in terms of NASCAR because they're a little bit further down the pack, when they race in sim racing, they get a lot of coverage because they're NASCAR drivers. And there aren't that many of them. So they get their sponsors, if they have them on their sim cars, noticed. So, you know, it expands their view for their sponsors. So people like Robbie doing this sort of thing, it helps their sponsor out because they're getting them noticed. You've got them on a title sponsor for this series. It's on his car. He's on the broadcast. You know, it's showing that sponsor, it's showing the company, and it's not a huge market right now, but it's growing, and it certainly helps these guys.
Yeah, and, you know, I think of other drivers in similar situations. Myatt Snyder's run some late model stuff on here. Of course, we had the Pro Invitational Series with drivers like a couple of the Toyota development drivers as well taking part in that series. The Joe Gibbs off-season racing Thunder, insert all the other words here. I'm struggling, but JGR nonetheless had a series on Facebook that had some exposure in that as well, and also Garrett Smithley, who took part in Primetime Racing's NASCAR night last night and was talking a little bit with Krutz. But Smithley, of course, making his 2018 continue over at JD Motorsports as well in the number nothing over there. So a lot of these smaller drivers able to get a little bit of exposure and a little bit of fan support behind them here on the sim, and even drivers like Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson both as well doing kind of the same sort of thing. You earn, it's a little bit different than just admiration that you normally have for drivers, Rachel, because, you know, I've raced with Bubba and I've raced with Larson before, and, you know, was able to watch a race where Stewart went up with a bunch of the peak guys, and, you know, racing against them on something like this is a lot different than cheering them on in the grandstands and, you know, supporting your favorite driver. Like, you know, I may be a Jimmy Johnson fan, but my respect for Bubba is a little bit higher than it is for Jimmy, simply because I've been in a race with him.
Yeah, certainly, and it's fantastic to be able to see that. I mean, you got the road guys on here as well, doing the same sort of stuff. I mean, Rubens Barrichello runs regularly
SVG.
in series on the road side. Of course, Shane Van Gisbergen, a couple of the other V8 Supercars guys, all on there as well. Heck, some of the big boys in IndyCar, but in the 16th Street Racing League, of course, and there were several of those races where you actually had it as the official Verizon off-season series. You had about 5 or 6 of the big guys in there, and they weren't winning, which is a fantastic part. They had the sim guys taking it to them and kicking butt, especially on the road courses. That was fantastic to see, and absolutely great to see this sort of action going on, of course, especially when you see one of them accidentally not know where his push-to-pass button is and end up basically shutting off his engine on the pace lap.
Yeah, doing that in an IndyCar is not great because,
No.
of course, IndyCars don't have starters. And speaking of issues, Glenn Hedrick, I think, shutting the car off and turning it back on there because he kind of drifted behind traffic. So I think he's in uber save mode at this point, the driver of the 21. So keep an eye on him. This will be a little bit interesting. But lights are out on the pace car, getting ready to take the green flag back here with 59 laps to go at the line. And that stage fast approaching these guys, and strategy already. You're kind of stuck with your strategy, whatever it is now. It's too late to change.
Certainly is far too late to change as they come down the backstretch now, ready to go back to green flag racing here on lap 16 of tonight's race. This is caution number 2 about to be over, and well, we're ready for some more action tonight. This one's going to be a fun one, I think. I've got a real vibe, Cisco. This is going to be one of those nights where we have a lot of action, but these guys need to get up to strength, really, and get some laps under their belt before we have another caution here. A couple of little mistakes early on have broken the action up a little bit, but Josh Hanna, I think, took blame for that incident. He's been EOL'd after that last incident, so we'll see how that one will run through. But Robbie Lyons starting up front in that Sunwest construction, number 15 Chevrolet there. Alongside him, of course, the Goodwrench Oreos. Although I don't think Goodwrench stock Oreos. Number 3 Chevrolet there for Rodney Wofford. Behind them is Hedrick and Berger, Levine and Thiel, Preet and Warren. With Ramon Evans and Victor Bartlett is your top 10. Pace car about to pull off the track now. We're going to get back to our racing. Let's go for it. Green flag back out again. Already. That was early. That was very early. They're not going yet, apparently.
Oh, someone just blew up. Someone just popped the motor.
Well, have a quick look back and see who that was. I think that was... Oh, Evans? That was... Yeah, Evans. That was the 83. Ramon Evans blew his motor on the start there, or missed a shift. Oh no, detonation. Yeah, he went, I think he probably went from
yeah, we saw the puff of smoke,
second to
Rachel.
first.
Yeah, or yeah, missed gear shift or double downshift on accident or something like that. But we saw the puff of smoke watching the field, and just like that, Ramon Evans, all his, you know, just like the gearbox there, all up in smoke, goes his chance at winning this race. And no caution going to come out for that, and that means everybody's going to be extremely single file here because it was kind of chaos in your mid pack there. Evans was in your mid pack when that all kicked off, and that means everybody all of a sudden very spread out through your field, so almost scared everybody straight there for a little bit there.
Absolutely. And as somebody who also uses a H-pattern shifter on the ovals, I have made that same mistake once or twice where I've gone from top revs in second gear to first rather than third.
Didn't you do that when you raced in this?
No, I didn't. I went, but unfortunately, Coop, who was in front of me, no, it was Monster Vice who was in front of me, didn't go. As wow, there's a big cluster at the front of the track here as everyone
what was that?
Changes lanes all of a sudden like a formation move. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but oh no, it was Hedrick and he pushed Lions down and everyone spread out a bit. Yeah, but no, I went. The unfortunate problem was Monster Vice in front of me, second on the, or first on the outside lane, missed a shift and didn't go, so I dumped him by accident.
And that's why Rachel doesn't have a win in this series. Excuses.
I nearly had a chance. I had a chance at winning this series, actually. I restarted
racing
fourth
driver
with like 5 to go.
You know how it is.
No,
we
Brandon
on
missed a
here.
shift.
As we continue on racing here through Talladega. Bartlett down on the bottom side, getting a little bit of help from Corey Henry down there, and Hedrick's fallen back to 7th spot now and kind of fallen out of that lead group of 5 cars or so. He's getting help from Scott Warren and the 81 of Joseph Junkins, and the 31 of Champion is back in this as well. Champion, remember, had to use that fast repair after he went hard into the outside wall only early on into this race. And Rachel, with us coming to complete lap number 19 at the line, that means only going to have 21 laps to go before the end of the stage.
We certainly are. So fuel windows open now to make it to the end of the stage. Then that is a critical component for these guys. This is now when you can pit. Now you're able to get onto pit road and make it to that lap 40 important lap, of course, and the competition caution we have with the caution. As still Robbie Lyons leading out front, so fantastic run from Robbie Lyons at the moment, although he's got guys behind him who are all looking hungry to try and make an outside line work anytime soon.
And Robbie, remember, has had a lot of issues with keeping in the main draft lately, and definitely a very different change of pace versus last week. I think Lyons finished 1 lap down previous week at Daytona 07 versus this, where he's leading the field, and I know he's going to have help out of, I believe, the 37 Spencer Freed at the very least. Maybe a couple other cars going to work with him. His Freed gets a little bit shuffled out of line there. Everybody a little bit wiggly going through the tri-oval that time, but able to hold on to it. Completed lap number 20, halfway to the end of the stage.
Certainly are indeed as well. Up front, single file affair right now. 81 of Junkins, only car on the outside lane from your top 10 drivers here. The 31's kind of indecisive. A little bit further back, Jake Champion. Can't decide which lane he wants to be on, of course. 15. As, yeah. Oh, Brandon's actually reminded me it was actually Kelly that messed up, not Brandon, so we'll put that one on him instead. So,
we're blaming Kelly now?
We're blaming Kelly, yeah, we're blaming Kelly. It's all good. So, yeah, Lions start front as the 4 of Levine looks like he wants to try and make something happen. Preet is actually making an outside start here, along with Scott Warren. 21 of Hedrick's joining in on the outside, so we could have a run here, and you tell you what, someone like the 3 is going to pull out and make a move here.
They could, or if you're Rodney Wofford, I mean, you're early on in this race. If a run comes on the outside, then, yeah, jump to the outside. But if they have to get something going first, and, yeah, you kind of see Levine teasing a little bit to the outside, but I don't think he's going to make that move till they're pretty solid and have a decent run going. He's able to drag them up to where they are, so we'll have to see. I think that top line's going to get momentum first to see if something is going to happen. Quick note, the Camaro, by the way, if you're curious when that'll be coming out, that'll be coming probably during the summer build. I do believe iRacing got their CAD data for that car only about a month or so ago, so they still have to build that whole car, so it won't be ready for March, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the June build we'll have that dropped on the sim, so keep an eye.
At least the physics are done.
Yeah, no, the physics should be getting a complete rework, I think. but they're going to be building this car from the ground up, just as they did the Camry. So
look at this. Look at this, though. 3 and the 4 moving past on the outside. They'll both get clear of the 15 of Lions this time by, as not quite. Oh, they do just by a hair. Levine just makes it in there, as leaves Bartlett, Preet, and Warren on the outside. 15 of Lions still trying to make his way here and find an opportunity, but it's been formed up again. That single file run we had has really become a thing now, but this is it, Cisco. This is the sort of post-green flag pit stops groupings of cars we tend to see. Yeah, you've got a group at the front fighting, but behind them you've got small chains of 2s, 3s, 4s, and single cars in a lot of cases. This is why we don't get a caution unless the top guys have a problem, because everyone's so spread out.
Yeah, the big issue we see is going on and off pit road. That'll be if we're going to have an issue where it's going to come. But apart from that, yeah, like you said, everybody's fairly spaced out. So unless it's this front group, probably not going to happen. But getting back to what I was talking about, yeah, that car should drop in the June build. And as for the Charlotte Roval, well, they changed the format like 2 weeks before, or 2 weeks after iRacing got the scan of the other format. So they had to go back and scan again. And I do believe that's been done. I don't know if we're going to get that for June. We'll have to see. But essentially, if you want to drive the Roval, you can on iRacing. It just doesn't have the chicane on the back stretch and on the front stretch. But apart from that, the layout very similar, and just doesn't have the same walls that the track does today. But apart from that, the layout is very similar. Levine up to the top side in his number 4 Fusion. The Alpine Stars logos on that car, and gray and yellow design. I think that's a fairly new paint scheme for him, but through 3 and 4 that time, evened up with Rodney Watford as they look to come out of turn number 4 and head for the Tri-Oval.
Yeah, they certainly do, and we've got a good pack forming here at the front. Your top 10 cars, 2 wide here, running through the Tri-Oval now. Going to be coming up on lap traffic fairly soon, actually. Just up ahead them heading into turn 1 there on 226 here. And they're getting a little shaky almost. It's really starting to bunch up now. We could see some action happening as Lions just washes up a small amount. Manages to hold that car there, but Levine running the outside, not quite got the same grunt as the 3.
Yeah, not a lot of space either. The car behind him, you see that gap that Victor Bartlett's leaving to him. You cannot be doing that now. He's gotten to him. But now the problem is you're going in the corner and you can't really push that car in the corner, or it's going to get really loose and you could end up spinning out. So not something he wants to happen. It looks like big time damage on the 23 and the 2 car, which might go to explain why the pack got broken up a little bit earlier. It was, I believe, issues in kind of your mid-pack there, but all happened when that engine explosion from Ramon Evans stacked everybody up. So that's why you see those 2 cars, Rod Flag and Josh Hanner, already torn up. And remember, they had to use their fast repair after that massive incident we had to bring out your second caution. So that's why they are battle-stricken here out there on the racetrack. Also do want to note, Mark Jorgensen Jr. back in the server. So he looks to be 1 lap down right now, so he'll need a wave around if he hopes to get back on your lead lap and go after that win again.
Yeah, they certainly will. And my gosh, yeah, third of the race down at this point, and we're heading towards our stage end here as Preet goes flying up the track there. Not sure what happened to him as he just bails from the bottom line there. And he's
Preet's been having issues.
Yeah, Preet's internet right now is apparently Comcast, because it's about as stable as Comcast.
Hey, Comcast isn't as bad as like WoW and stuff like that. So I will say the service I've had from Comcast in the past, apart from the whole throttling thing, has been great. So don't dig on Comcast too much. They give NASCAR money, and that means we get an Xfinity series. So I'll take it.
Certainly is. As
oh no, around goes the 99.
There we go.
TJ Cray. Around
TJ Cray.
Off the nose of, I believe that was Kyle Manger, but
25, yeah,
down the straightaway, and
he was straight. There's no one in the way, and somehow manages to get turned on a straightaway. I don't understand how that happened, but it did. Caution's out.
It was I think that was, yeah, a little bit of a bump draft. Oh, just you can see it loosen up the car. And I think Manger didn't hit him square there, and that's all it took for the 99 to get sent around, and the duck will be in a cast after that one as he gets that car spun back around. Affleck on board the number 99. But the caution just came out, and that means it's our 3rd caution on the evening. But Well, if you were worried about fuel coming to the end of the stage, you could throw that out the window because now it don't even matter.
Nope, not at all. We're going to have about 8 laps to go on the stage, and, well, unfortunately that means we're probably going to have another caution because 8 laps means they're all going to be scrambling, they're going to be bunched up, and we're going to have a race to the end of this stage. So if you guys tuned in for great racing, close action, you're about to get it.
Or
so you know what? Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to get that too, most likely. But we are going to go for a very quick commercial break before we come back for the end of this stage. You guys are not going to miss a second of this. We'll be back before the green flag waves. So don't touch that dial or that YouTube button. Yeah, don't touch it. Just don't press anything. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Ryan Priest. I'm driving the number 20 JGR Toyota Xfinity car this weekend. Really great opportunity here at New Hampshire at my home track. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been on iRacing, practicing a little bit here and there with the modified and the NASCAR Xfinity car, so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great tool for me to kind of get used to that stock car body again and be prepared for the race today. Well, yeah, it's a mile long, so the draft kind of plays into effect here with the modifieds. Punches a big hole in the air, and we run restrictor plates. So it makes a big difference. Just really fast, and it's our Daytona. So that's what's great about it, and we have a fast car for tomorrow. I think the biggest thing is they're heavier cars. The tire's a lot different. And the way you go about setting them up is a lot different. They use all 4 tires more than a modified, where we typically drive off the right rear, you know, so. Well, actually, it's funny. I raced NASCAR race in 2003 before iRacing came about. And then when iRacing came about, my friend Kevin Iannarelli, who works at iRacing, kind of told me, hey, man, you need to switch over to this. And when I did, I was like, oh, my God, this is like real life. So I started using it as a tool of mine to really prepare for modified races, whether it was Stafford or Thompson or Loudon, Bristol, and then obviously the Xfinity Series last year, going to road courses, trying to get laps, and use it as a tool that can get me as prepared as I could be without actually doing it. So it's been great.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Really enjoy dirt racing. Feels good to get in the car, and we have great cars and engines and things at KKR, so it's nice to drive a fast sprint car.
Couple of separate lines developing, 3 wide action on a turn 2. Craig Kinzer, Casey Kane, and Garrett Pittman going at it.
I think the differences between, you know, NASCAR and the sprint races on dirt is just a much different mindset. The way you drive your cars, the setup, the feel you're looking for. I think one of the hardest things to tell as a fan is when you're watching a race, whether it's a NASCAR race, a dirt race, is just what's really going on in the car. With iRacing, you can get the way that the track's changing, which they've done a great job in how the track changes throughout the night or throughout the race, just to try to capture it and let the fans play it and realize, like, man, there's actually a lot going on, and you can't always see that when you watch a race. So I think it's pretty neat. It's, you know, enjoyable for me, but at the end of the day, it's actually much of a simulation, and there's a lot of ways that you can learn from that. And, you know, early on, it was neat to look at the Cup tracks that I was going to, places that I had never been. So I think it kind of gives you a head start leading into a weekend. It's pretty real life, and that's pretty neat.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Welcome back to the Sunwest Construction Superspeedway Cup Series here on LSRTV. Coming back to the green flag here on lap number 32. And this will be 9 laps remaining at this point to the end of our stage. And boy, this is going to be a busy 9 laps, Cisco.
Yeah, it is. And if you're Robbie Lyons at this point, you're hoping enough gas is in the tank. You've stayed out the last, or actually no, he did come down pit road. So actually everybody's good. So you know what this is, Rachel? This is all out brawl time. And whoever's going to be the last one standing after this first stage, if last week was to go by, we could see a gigantically massive accident coming to the stage finish, as we saw 1 week ago, but we'll just have to see. You got Lyons, Levine, Berger, Warren, and Younkins, your top 5 as they pace through 3 and 4.
They do indeed, and well, the pace car will pull off in just a few seconds' time, and Robbie Lyons back in front of this field. I mean, we get another caution. He's got a real chance of winning this stage, which is huge for him. He has a real opportunity here being the leader. I mean, 9 laps is doable, but especially with the cars around him, this has really jumbled things up after that crash at the start. So a couple of the really speedy cars are a little bit further back in this thing, and if Robbie can really manage this, he is in a fantastic position to control this race. Pace cars off, through the tri-oval, race in the hands of Robbie Lyons and Justin Levine. When do they go? When do they? Green flag in the air. Big jump by the inside line, outside, kind of stalled there as Levine just loses some pace. But the big thing for Lyons, of course, is that the 24 and I believe it's the 81 also went very well with him. Got a great start there, which is a huge advantage for them as they make their way forwards. Yeah, huge start. Of course, if the leader pulls a gap, Cisco, over second place on the inside, they tend to get run over by the outside lane, but in this case, they came with him as well, and it gave a powerful, powerful shove. Hedrick on the inside there as well. The outside kind of breaks up here.
Yeah, the outside gets a little bit broken up, and that's not going to help any of them stuck up there, as it's Robbie Lyons continuing to lead the field back towards the tri-oval once again. Going to be 7 laps to go till the end of the stage. Must complete lap number 40 here. Getting ready to complete lap number 33 going into the book. 7 laps to go here till the end of the stage.
Sunny airs, and we'll see if they can get that one wrapped up without another caution here. Everyone's single filing out actually at this point, so unless people try and mount a serious assault, this is looking like a quiet run to the end of the stage. Can Robbie Lyons hold on for 7 more laps? Can the guy who will run at Daytona for real this weekend do anything to try and stay in front here? Can he win the stage? and get himself some very valuable points.
Yeah, and playoff points going to play a factor if he can secure this stage win. It's not a guaranteed spot in the playoffs, but it will help him get into the playoffs. So something to note. He 15 playing for a lot here. So he comes across the line, 6 laps to go till the end of the stage. And getting a little bit, maybe a little bit of a rebellion right behind. It looked like Hedrick was thinking about it, and Levine might be thinking about it as well, as it looks like Cozy having a little bit of issues there. Disregard the damage. I think his car is actually okay. That was just being registered there for a moment, but everybody else, you could see the seeds of rebellion being sown here, but no one wants to make the move yet. It's still a little bit early. 5 laps to go at the line.
Yeah, it certainly is, of course, and wow, this could be a real opportunity here, but there's some big cars behind Lions right now. Andrew Berger, Glenn Hedrick are the 2 closest to really have an impact on this, but this is really spread out. There aren't a lot of cars to make momentum go, and this could definitely stay in favor as Levine starts to look and wants to make a go at this thing. Could he be starting the trend here on lap 36? 5 to go now. It's got to be running through his head. Can Robbie hold on and bring this thing home as cars decide to try and take a look again, but change their mind? Are they do we have enough cars here to really make a good charge, Cisco?
If it's only going to be 2 or 3, if it's from Glenn Hedrick back and it's those 3 cars plus more, then yes, because that splits your field basically in half. But if it's only going to be Levine and Warren, I'm not sure, because they have a lot of speed in that car, but I'm just not sure if it's going to be enough to take the lead away from Lions. So we'll have to see. But across the line we come. 4 laps to go till the end of the stage.
It is indeed, and wow, things still stay in single file now. Could they be just conceding this to get to the end of the stage with a green flag and get themselves a yellow for no crash this time? Maybe not. Levine once again pulls out here with Warren. They're going to start something towards the front. If Berger decides to step out here and have a run, that could really affect Lions' momentum, and that could really have an impact on whether this succeeds. But Warren and Levine dropping back here. Not enough horsepower together. Will they slot in line now as they get a gap? Doesn't look like they're going to, but they haven't got any forward speed that they need. 3 to go at the line this time by, and wow, my fingers are crossed. I'm actually rooting for Robbie here.
It's going to be interesting because you see Gary Champion, we're on board with the 31 right now. If he gets Mike Thiel to Scott Warren and get a group together to make a run on the outside, then they'll be able to do something, because we got Jake Champion, the other champion in this race. You got 3 of Rodney Wofford back there, always a good car to have up there, and Kyle Menger out of the same stable that Seth the Merchant runs in. So a lot of guys have potential to make a move up there. They just have to stick together and actually work together to make it happen. But yeah, Abandon on the top side. Levine's going to try and do it all on his own.
And it's probably not going to work there, as of course Scott Warren dropped down and Levine concedes and will drop in as well. The people have any further opportunities, because it's much easier to make a pass for the line here at Talladega, with the start-finish line being in turn 1. An epic decision in terms of making the race exciting, as here they come. It's going to be on to lap 40, I believe, Cisco. We wrap this thing up as... No, they looked again, but they decided against it. So is anyone ever going to make an attempt here as we go for this thing?
They're going to have to make the move soon. It's only going to be 1 lap to go here at the start-finish line before they can make that move. There it is. Levine goes to the outside. He's got the 76 award with him in tow. Thiel is going to stab him in the back, though. I don't know if he's going to go with him. Little slight contact. That'll loosen up the 61. He'll get freight trained. Then here comes Wofford and Champion and Kyle Manger into this fight here. Could they have a shot at it? White flag in the air before the green and checkered.
It is indeed, but they've kind of been torpedoing themselves for this last 4 or 5 laps. The entire front group really haven't been working together. They've been working against each other, being indecisive, and the 15 is praying it lasts in the lap. And I think right now, with 4 cars to the 1 car on the outside, which is going backwards, this thing might be locked up, but we just don't know. Here they come, down the backstretch. Are we going to see anything happen here? Hold on to your seats, folks, because there's one driver out there praying this thing stays the way it is. Into 3. Things are a little bit safer now for Robbie Lyons. 3 will come. And looks like no one's trying to make an attempt here. No one can, I don't think. There's not enough momentum in anybody. Robbie is controlling this thing like a pro. As here we go. Look, a move from Andrew Berger. Will it be in time? He gets the car with him. Oh, this could be it. This could be it. Will he take it? Andrew Berger will steal it at the line. Oh my gosh. I was rooting for Robbie so hard there, but at the line, it was, wow, Andrew Berger and Joseph Junkins just nabbed it.
They timed that perfectly, Rachel.
That was ultimate.
If that was for the win, that was perfect, but it was just for the stage win. But Junkins and Berger must have had that sorted out because it was coming out of turn 4 into the tri-oval, and like we've seen so many times at Talladega, last lap pass to come to complete the end of the stage here. Andrew Berger steals it, the heartbreak for Robbie Lyons. Albeit he's still going to get second here at the end of the stage, which is nothing to shake your head about. Still a great finish for him at the end of the stage, but so close and yet so far.
Oh, so close yet so far. That was an absolute quick scope there at the line for Andrew Berger. Robbie Lyons still gets great points there in second place, of course, which will be a great advantage for him, but we're going to rack him and stack him here on lap number 40. And you know what, Cisco? As we're under caution here, pretty much is our halfway point.
Yeah, it is.
Of course.
Yep. I was going to say, do you have it up? Because I'm trying to
have it up. Yeah, I have it up. Because you ruined my role I had going on there. As we cross the halfway point in tonight's race, let's take a look at our iRacing midway race break. Brought to you, of course, by iRacing, the leading online racing simulation and developed from the beginning as a centralized racing and competition service. iRacing organizes, hosts, and officiates races on virtual tracks all around the world. In the fast-paced world of esports, iRacing is a one-stop shop for online racing, with officially sanctioned racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, World of Outlaws, Global Rallycross, and more. Well, as we look at our running order here, as it stands, Andrew Berger, Robbie Lyons, Joseph Junkins, Glenn Hedrick, Scott Warren, with Rodney Wofford in P6, Jake Champion, Kyle Manger, Justin Levine, Mike Field, Corey Henry, Richard Reagan Jr., Harry Tiller, TJ Buck, David Warren, Dan Harrington, Schultz, Cray, Bartlett, with Spencer Preet at 20th, Corey Smith, Michael Cozy Jr., Josh Hanna, Jorgensen Jr. all the way back in 24th place with Gary Champion, Travis Brown, Rod Flagg, Ramon Evans, Chris Bassini, and Jason Altmans, with Patton in last place. Although Bassini, Altmans, and Patton all are out of the race at this point, of course, from incidents earlier on. Everyone on pit road now getting service for their competition caution here, and they'll be coming back off pit road and organising themselves once again as we get ourselves back out. I think Victor Bartlett's actually going to be leading this race. Spencer Preet for the restart here. Well, that was a look at your iRacing midway race break, and for more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities online, visit iracing.com today to sign up. Thanks to our friends, of course, at Global Rallycross from Red Bull, and you can now visit iracing.com/membership and use the code PR-GRC for an opportunity to start your iRacing career on iRacing for 3 months of racing for only $5. That's promo code PR/GRC, and that's for new members only. Well, Cisco, quite the unusual end to the stage there. Not quite last week's end to the stage, but certainly one we didn't expect.
Yeah, there weren't cars crashing coming to the start-finish line, but nonetheless, still an exciting finish, and going to get Andrew Berger a win in the stage there, and congratulations to him on being able to secure some of those precious playoff points. And coming off of pit road, we see the 42 of Victor Bartlett. And I'm curious, Rachel, are you seeing that nose damage as well?
You know what, I am. So it might be that he's stayed out at this point, but he has definitely got quite a bit of nose damage on there. So
and some rear bumper damage too.
Yep, that car is officially arced.
No, it still has a nose on it. It's not quite there yet.
Yeah, it's not modified yet.
Still a little bit of damage. You can see two cars pacing on the bottom side, saving fields. Rodney Wofford and Joseph Junkins. And Junkins played a very vital role in getting Berger that playoff win, and is a driver out of that GXR stable. And his teammate, of course, Corey Smith in the 10, also has connections to I am blanking on who the other driver out of that stable is right now. I think we're missing them tonight, and that's why I'm not seeing them on track. But Several drivers out of that Gen X Racing group have come into Superspeedway Cup and trying to grab a couple points away, and have been up here but still haven't been as successful as they're hoping for, Rachel. And that's one of the big problems when you come into a Superspeedway series like this. You know, you're an outsider, and for Cozy Jr. and Preet and those guys, they were able to form a little bit of an alliance. But for some of these other drivers, it's been a little bit tougher because you don't necessarily have the same sort of help and reliance that you can have on others that, you know, these big teams that, you know, Rodney Wofford and Rod Flagg, who have been racing each other for the last 5 years, will team up with each other. You don't have that kind of portfolio built with the rest of the drivers in this series. You have to rely more on yourself and the immediate cars around you and make some fast friends versus working with long-time teammates.
Certainly is, of course, and wow, they're going to have some fun sorting this thing around once we go back to green in a few laps' time, of course. But wow, this race is actually flying past, it feels like, and even though it's not really so far, we're going to have about 30 laps to go on this thing. Well, maybe just shy of 30, about 28 laps to go when we go back to green, Cisco. And well, we're actually running on schedule tonight. Maybe a little fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna check through my messages because it's someone it's also the sad part is, Rachel, it's someone I've talked to and I don't remember their name and I feel terrible about it, so I want to make sure I get this right because otherwise I'm gonna be kicking myself for it later. Survey says no, it's not Cam. I can guarantee you it's not Cam, Rachel. I don't think Cam knows how to drive on an oval. I think he knows how to drive 4 GTs and that's it.
He can drive an oval in that he can stay on the track and turn left, but he's not a NASCAR driver by any
Richard
stretch.
Reagan Jr.
There you go, Richard Reagan Jr. Yeah, not Cam Walsh at all. But yeah, no, Cam's a great driver. He actually is a really, really good driver, especially on the GT stuff. But I think he'll agree he's not a NASCAR driver.
And have some fun at his expense as well.
Of course, it's Cam. We love to have fun at Cam's expense, just as he does to us. So.
Also, apparently, Dynasty is out of the playoffs for Overwatch League.
There you go.
All right, you don't watch it. All right, never mind then.
I haven't watched it so far, so unfortunately, no, I haven't. But possibly in the future.
And it looks like we've just gotten an update. We have about 35 entries now for the RSR Cup Series this season that runs on Monday nights here on LSR. And if you are still interested in jumping on board the Premier Cup Series here on LSRTV, go to livesimracing.com, follow the links on our website to Real Sim Racing, and you can sign up there. We dropped the price. It's $30 for a segment, $90 for the season. Going to be paying out some cash prizes as well as the usual trophies that we give out to the season champion. And we shortened the schedule down a little bit, so we're only going to be running about 30 races or so. So it should be a little bit less strenuous than it usually is and should allow some breathing room for some of these guys as well. And the other thing I just realized, Rachel, Richard Reagan's actually in this race. He's just in a different car. Because he's normally in a red and blue machine, but rocking some different colors this evening. And I'm trying to get a look at the sponsor on there, and it looks like go off the rear camera of the 12 car, Advantage Hood Cleaning Incorporated. There you go. Apparently they do hood cleaning.
They do, apparently. There you go, hood cleaning. Exactly what you need in NASCAR is your hood clean.
Yeah, and I do want to see if he still has it on the car, because he asked me actually a couple weeks ago if we could shout out some of the charity stuff. He doesn't have it on there, but I do know he was working on doing some charity stuff last month and just wasn't able to run up front. We didn't get to see a whole lot of them, but I'm sure Richard, if we get a chance to talk to him later on this season, he can talk a little bit more about that. But his lights are out on the pace car, getting ready to take the green flag. Hey, we only got 30 laps to go. This race is flying by, and your top 5 goes as follows: Victor Bartlett, Rodney Wofford, Joseph Yunkins, Josh Hanner, and Corey Smith.
Certainly is. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, of course. As don't forget, of course, Rod Flagg has a huge team running, of course, in the RSR series. Side Suck Racing with 7 cars should be an interesting super pack. 6 cars, sorry. Well, Roger said 7, but hey, super packed of cars getting in there, ready to go racing. As we're ready to go racing here, and I think Bartlett might be going backwards on this start, and Wofford could be in with a free first place as we go into our second segment here of the night. Waiting for that green flag to fly, and we'll see just how far backwards he goes with that front end damage, of course. Green flag flies, and Wofford gets a great launch.
Really good launch by Rodney Wofford. They head towards turn number 1. Bartlett's trying to fight on the bottom side. Some life left in the 42 Napa machine. As they head through 1 and 2, the car actually looks pretty okay because he's going to clear Wofford and bring Younkins along with him. But how long before Younkins ditches him with that damage and jumps to the high side? Car very loose. It's Scott Warren going to go careening into the inside wall. No caution. He's on the apron. No caution going to fly for the 78.
No, that was very close to being quite a crazy moment. Yeah, 76 of Warren. Really had a problem there, but... or did have a problem, but at least it didn't cause a caution already. That'd be a bit much, but we're going to have 25 laps to go this time by. No, that'll be... No, we're not. We're going to have 29 laps to go this time by, I believe, as we come across the line.
Where are you doing math? Did you start doing the SoCo math?
Yes. I'm leading the Superspeedway Cup series at the moment, so I'm doing Pasoko math. Okay, don't judge me.
24, Andrew Perker got a huge shove from Glenn Hendrick, and it was almost calamity in your mid-pack there. Got all sorts out of shape. Sorry to cut you off, Rachel, but that was almost massive issues going through turns 2. And Hendrick and Berger, I don't know how they did, but they got away with it there.
Only barely, though, of course, as that one was nearly a huge drama, but we'll keep it going. As Bartlett's still somehow out front with that damage. Maybe that's just visual for us, because that car is still out front. You'd think he'd be absolutely run over by the rest of the field now if that was actually on there, but I don't know, it looks pretty big to be visual.
Yeah, I mean, we're both seeing the damage out there, so it's not an error recording damage or anything like that. So that damage is on the car. It's just, I guess Bartlett's and the team have done a good job of taping it all back up and getting it in working condition. So not having to worry about it too much. A little bit of a jump on the outside. Corey Henry trying to make it happen with Richard Reagan Jr. Not going to be able to make it happen, though. And Spencer Preet took a look, but he's not going to be able to do anything as well. So they'll all go single file, and that breakaway starting to happen. And side by side back for around the 10th position. That's where you find that outside line. It's Andrew Berger and Mark Jorgensen Jr. up on the top side, trying to get a little bit of life up there.
Certainly are, of course, and well, we'll see just how they get this thing running, of course, but pretty stale at the front. It's very much single file apart from the 12 of Henry, who decided to come up and have a crack, but everybody else running a pretty single file. Jorgensen Jr. is working his way back to the front here, as is Cozy. Jorgensen himself back up to 11th place right now and pushing Berger forwards after his wobble earlier on. Could see old Junior working his way back into the top group once again very, very soon, and that will certainly liven things up.
And then keep in mind, he did that after falling out of the sim and coming back and was a lap down, got the caution he needed. Obviously, we had that stage caution, so he was going to be in a good position for it already. Got his lap back, is working with the 24 to try and work his way back up through the field, get back up to the front pack. But the second pack, you see the outside line starting to form up there. You got Mike Thiel. You also got right behind him Jake Champion, 15 of Robbie Lyons, and Justin Levine the 4, and throwing the 21 of Hendrick up there as well. So all those guys trying to make the outside work. Actually, no, Jake Champion says, no, I want the inside instead. I'll steal that for myself.
Absolutely did indeed there, as he's... well, this is 3 wide, actually, a bit further back in the back. Mike Thiel there, along with Levine and Lyons. A little bit further back, this is around 18th place. They've got a bit of a shuffle going on right now, and Robbie Lyons stuck up on the high side with nowhere really to go with him. Oh, problems, contact! Round goes Levine, contact, grass is up the track. He'll maybe come, no, somehow. Yep, they tip each other at the back. Caution.
Nope, there it is.
There it is indeed. That was the longest crash I've seen in this race. In fact, quite a few races. It was actually Mike Thiel comes down, touches the 4. We'll get the replay for you now. But yeah, Mike Thiel comes down, taps the 4, sends him loose. The 4 comes down, hits, I believe that is the 21 of Hedrick, who gets super sideways. 4 gets tipped again by Cozy Jr. And the actual crash happens when the 36 tries to avoid absolutely nothing and dumps Manger on the front stretch just across the line, and shenanigans ensue.
Oh, I see what the problem was. Evans, I think, tagged the rear end of the 36 and sent the 36 of David Warren straight into Kyle Manger and or Manger, and just around he goes, and a little bit of assist there as well by the 99 of TJ Cray, but everybody was checking up, and it just seemed Evans missed the memo and just got into the back of David there, and around they went. So nasty incident there, and a bunch of cars getting caught up that really were just innocent bystanders, weren't expecting to be a part of that wreck. They were out of the way, and the next thing they know, goodbye.
Certainly is, but it's one of those panic wrecks you tend to see. So not really the big one at this stage of the race, but more the silly one, because those cars up at the top could have carried on straight and had no problems at all, but they all panicked and changed lanes and caused the crash.
You know what you got to do if you're changing lanes, right? Always got to do your shoulder check.
Mirror, signal, maneuver.
Exactly, except these cars don't have signals. You can stick your hand out the window, I guess, or hit pass left and do something like that. Yeah, you just have to pass left. That's our version of signals, I guess, in iRacing.
Yeah, stick your hand out the window, or just move like most of these guys do without telling anybody, and watch what happens.
But
well, we're under caution again, and we're heading down pit road here, because pit road is everyone's favorite place in this race.
It means fresh tires. That's good.
Youngkin stays out.
Youngkin's gonna stay.
As does, I believe, with him,
Reagan
will
Jr.
stay the 46 of Reagan Jr. So two guys gambling at this stage as everybody else comes for fresh fuel.
Two
in
teammates.
Fact, you can make it. You might be able to stretch it to the end from here, actually. Oh, strategy.com.
And it's an interesting call by the GXR teammates. Oh. Yeah, he's going to lose a little bit of time on that. He'll probably lose the lead if he missed his box. And yeah,
absolutely.
Wofford's going to drive off with the lead. Yeah. Bartlett's going to... I think Bartlett's getting maybe some damage repaired as well, but...
I think the biggest problem here is Bartlett not only missed his pit box, but he missed it by a state. In fact, he actually tried to pit in Kentucky rather than Alabama.
Oh, that's a common problem. Or maybe he was trying to pit in Mississippi. But either way...
Yeah, one of the
two of the GXR teammates staying out, and I was talking about them earlier, but this could be the best position they're in, because at least you have a friend on your fuel strategy. So Reagan and Youngkins, keep an eye on those two. They might try and work with each other to try and hold that lead. And Harry stayed out because why not? Because it's Harry Tiller. Because of course he did.
Yeah, absolutely did, of course. As well, Harry Tiller always won for the wacky decisions. He goes for that one just to see what will happen, of course. Think about half this field's going to have to come back in for fuel at some point in this, but some of these guys may not have to if we get another caution. Actually, one more caution, and the guys who just fueled up, they're good to the end.
And they don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to make it to the end or not? They'll just be flat good to the end. And Rachel... You know what helps you with trying to figure out your fuel mileage and figure out your timing?
How? See, I have always had this problem. I don't know how to work out my fuel mileage or my timing, or when I'm spotting people. What are the gaps? I mean, how do I know this?
You could use, in fact, I can't do it.
Terrible segue. My God, I fed you that one.
I nearly got through it, and
all you need to do is deadpan.
All you had to do was
deadpan.
You broke me with the last line of that when you mentioned spotting, because one of the tools you can use to help you see all your live timing, your fuel mileage, is Joel Real Timing, which coverage of the Superspeedway Cup Series is brought to you by Joel Real Timing, the official timing software of LSRTV. Whether you spend your time on the sim behind the wheel, or on the pit box, or from the
giggling in the commentary box,
or in the commentary stand, that too. JRT is the go-to software for iRacing time and scoring analytics. You can get yourself a basic download or get the pro version today at joel-real-timing.com. JRT, longtime partner here for us at LSRTV. Help us see what's going on track, and help us when it comes to fuel mileage scenarios when we're in the car, which for me is a lot less than you.
No, probably more than me right now, because I just don't race anymore. But
I don't race either, so
I think my last race was when I was in this series for one round.
that sounds about like my racing schedule as well. So not a lot of racing going on up here in the broadcast booth. But for you as a spotter, we'll talk about that because you were a spotter in NIS.
I was, yeah.
Those tools and, you know, knowing all that information is a crucial key for you to be able to, you know, to make strategy calls for your driver and, you know, be able to know where everything going on is.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real about this. It's the biggest thing, especially when you're looking at the non-Superspeedway tracks where pitting is a strategy call and you're not waiting on the fuel, you're waiting on the tires. And you're comparing lap times you're doing compared to times people are doing when they've pitted, and that's a huge factor when you just look at that information in JRT and use it. It's a fantastic tool for being on the box, for being on the stand. It makes the decisions easier because you actually have data to base it on, and it's relevant, quick to reference data. It's fast, it's efficient, and it makes this whole lot better.
Let's see if he's here because he's been sitting at the top of in the top of TeamSpeak all night long. Austin Coop, you got a copy? No,
he does not copy. No,
he's just sitting in our TeamSpeak randomly. So, not in the race tonight, unfortunately.
I think he wants friends.
The 53. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure where Austin is tonight because normally he'd be out there. And I even talked to him last night, and he said he was going to run. So, I guess not going to be the case for Austin Coop. We'll leave him be then, and leave him to the safety of driver room 1 here on TeamSpeak. But pace car light should go off this time, and Harry Tiller gonna come down pit road. Strategy call, Rachel. Can you make it from here on fuel?
Yes, absolutely can. 112% you can make it from here on fuel. So Harry Tiller there with the certainty call. Now if we go green, might have this, but nobody else can be down. He might be stuck for partners, so could be.
No, he's got more people down.
Oh, he has. So there you go. That could be a great call there from those guys.
I like the call. I really like the call, and also Dan Harrington.
Bold.
We haven't gotten to mention it tonight, but Rachel, take a look at the paint on the 82. What does that remind you of?
Let's have a look. Where is Monsieur Harrington? He is I'm trying to find him on the racetrack, but I
just
can't
left
find
pit
him.
road.
He did. I'm trying to find his number. I can't see
82.
it. Why did I turn French? What the heck? Dan Harrington. Okay, here we go. Ah, no. Harrington doesn't quite work. The retro original TV series Batmobile. I approve, Dan Harrington. That is cool.
And he's got the highlights like the old 60s
like the car.
Adams West car. That's pretty cool. I saw him post that during the week that he said he was going to run it, so I just wanted to give a call to Dan Harrington. That's a cool looking car out there. Nice looking Chevrolet
Probably
SS
the best livery on track
Batmobile.
tonight.
Yeah, and I guess it's the Batmobile. It's not any sort of brand, so we'll have to change the widget on the broadcast.
He missed a trick there by not being sponsored by Wayne Enterprises.
Oh, see Dan, if you're watching this back, get Wayne Enterprises on board next week. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I mean that's literally the Batmobile then. I mean, if he was in NASCAR, he'd be sponsored by Wayne. So yeah. Anyway,
I feel like Wayne would have a car in NASCAR if that really existed.
He would. You know, last time I actually did a Star Wars themed paint scheme for myself, I actually put companies like Rathana Heavy Industries on there as sponsors because they're actually in-law Star Wars companies, so it felt appropriate to do that. Is
Corellia just a place?
Corellia Shipyards.
Oh, that's
Corellia is a system.
Yes, I know where Corellia is, but I was curious.
It's a system, and Corellian Shipyards is actually a company in Corellia.
They made the Millennium Falcon. So yes, if you're wondering.
They did. Yes, the YT 1300 light freighter or cargo pusher, technically. Yes. Massive nerds, and I don't care as the pace car pulls to pit road. What we care about right now, of course, is this racing with Junkins and Reagan up front, Wofford and Hannah on the second row, Preet, Henry, Berger, Jorgensen Jr., Champion and Bartlett's your top 10. Let's crank this thing up to 11 and kick this off now. We're on 20 to go. Green flag flies.
And away goes Richard Reagan Jr. almost like they timed it. And Youngkin's now going to push Reagan. So if that, I talked about teammates there, Rachel. That looked like a very much a team move by the drivers of the 46 and the 81. Richard Reagan Jr. going to go the point here at Talladega. And he definitely could use the points to make things happen for his playoff hopes. But meanwhile, on the outside, hello, Josh Hanner. Welcome back to Superspeedway Cup. And he's looking for the lead in the 3.
Yeah, that Miller Lite number 2 machine, you mean, not the 3, of course. Yep. Pushing his way towards the front right now with the 12 behind him with Corey Henry. As One of his friends on the low side, of course, Rodney Wofford back up here to make this relevant. Look who appeared out of nowhere. It's the number 88 of Jorgensen Jr.
Not quite out of nowhere. He was 10th not that long ago, and let's be honest, does this really surprise us that Mark has somehow miraculously come back and is now in the top 5 again?
Absolutely, Mark just appearing out of nowhere and does exactly what he needs to do here, of course, as the race is really going to run down pretty quickly, actually, at this stage. These guys are running fairly single file, so we should stay fairly green. Yeah, Wofford
trying to squeeze Junkins out.
It might work if he's careful, but Junkins didn't give enough room to make it happen, so Wofford trying the peel off the bottom line approach to NASCAR.
It's an interesting strategy because I think he's trying to break up the teammates, Rachel, because you have those two GXR cars, all that are running right there, and they're probably not going to leave each other the rest of this race. I think if I'm Joseph Junkins, the way they made that strategy call, and the way those two cars moved to the front, that looks to me like Junkins just going to push Reagan until the car blows up.
I think he will do, and that'll be not the worst strategy in the world.
Well, yes, but the principle, I'm saying, that the fact that Junkins isn't going to abandon his teammate, I think these guys trying to bring some team strategy into this in a series that normally has team strategy right up until the last 5 laps. So we'll just have to see how that goes for them. But keep in mind, they also did stay out, Rachel, so fuel is a very big question mark right now.
It certainly is, and there's some guys who'll be very, very close in this one, but of course, we'll have to see whether or not they choose to pit. If we get a caution, it's mute for everybody. Everyone will come in, and we reset to a, well, everyone's equal strategy.
And at that point, any teammates are probably going to go out the window, and the race will be won by whoever survives the longest. But how about another car appearing back in your top 5? And Spencer Preet, the 37, and JBR sponsored car. It looks like a B from here. That's what I'm trying to see. But Wofford up to the outside. Never mind that. Going to try and make things work. Help from teammate in Mark Jorgensen Jr., or I guess sort of teammate in Mark Jorgensen Jr. The teammates right now, and he's working with him on the outside. A little bit close. There was Junkins. The 3 versus 2 as they head into the tri-oval.
Yeah, indeed. It'll be lap 60. They start this time across the line, and we'll have 15 to go. Where did that come from in this race? This is flying through. As up front, still Reagan Jr., but there's 2 powerhouse cars on the outside, a 3 and the 88 motoring forwards. Will anyone come and support them? Well, Hannah's a little bit further back, and so is Berger, who's decided to come out and join in the party. Could this be the start of something very powerful on the outside? Of course, they've got Henry and Flag there as well. So it's the newcomers on the low side with the veterans at the top, and well, the veterans are the ones that tend to make these outside lanes work.
And Berger trying to serve something up on the outside, and he's serving up some speed as they come out of turn number 4, and just he needs a little bit more help. He's only got himself as the last car in that top lane, had a little bit of more help earlier, but I think he got a little bit abandoned up there on the top side. So at this point, you got Wofford and you got Jorgensen stuck together like glue, and then Berger a little bit further off. Those guys will have to go a little bit closer if he wants to make an impact on that top side, or some help maybe from Victor Bartlett or maybe Josh Hanner. We could see some of those guys go to the top side. It looks like Bartlett's going to jump and maybe make the move up there, and help also coming from Justin Levine and Rod Flag, who's worked his way back into the swing of things.
Absolutely has, and that could make things very interesting, because Flag has always wanted to get involved. He's not really a shy driver, so it can make this one a fun one. Looks like, I believe, looking at his car, oh, problem! Steele goes to the low side, holds onto it, comes back up the track, and forces Cozy Jr. wide. Looks as though 42 of Bartlett got his car fixed, because that thing is looking shiny and new right now. As on the outside, 3, 88, 24, and 42. Get it going. And, well, could have been worse, but it's going very nicely now. They've got a real 4-car train hooked up here. Bartlett, Berger, Jorgensen, and Wofford.
And Cozy nearly took the front nose off Mike Thiel in all that shuffling around, and it got very close, but able to keep everything clean right now. We know Cozy, desperate for a win at this point, has been so close for so long, and trying to just grab a win here and lock himself into the playoffs. trying to make it happen is the driver of the 77, the Streamer, trying to make things happen on the bottom side. He's got Victor Bartlett down there, like I said, Mike Thiel as well. He's got help also in that 37 of Spencer Preet. So, oh no, actually 61 gonna go up over the field, gonna go Mike Thiel. Caution gonna fly, and we may get 5 or 6 laps to go after this one.
Well, he always wanted to be at the head of the field, but Mike Thiel ended up over the heads of the field there with that impact into the outside barrier in turn number 2, and, well, brings out 4th caution of the night, Cisco, or am I doing Evan math again?
6th.
So I definitely did Evan math.
You missed one, and we had the stage caution.
There we go.
But yeah, Thiel just absolutely careened over the entire pack there. That was an interesting look at it. We'll take another look at it. And how about on board Ramon Evans? Because I think Evans going to have a good shot of it from his roof cam. You saw Thiel got turned, and it was Hanner came down the racetrack just as Thiel went up the racetrack. You see it up ahead. Thiel goes careening up into the safer barrier, catches some air, and just barely clips the roof of, who is that in front of the 10? That was the 12 of Corey Henry. But yeah, Thiel got air, and he got plenty of air, and he'll have to contact air traffic control after that one, because that was an unapproved takeoff by the driver of the 61.
Absolutely was, and the FAA will be after him for that one, but you know what, I think it's crucial for me after him for ending up in the guardrail with that thing. So get ourselves reshuffled here in Cisco. I think we're going to go for a little quick commercial break before we come back and we go to the end of this thing non-stop.
Yeah, we'll do so. You're watching the Super Speedway Cup Series right here on LSRTV, your home for sim racing. Back in a moment, we'll stay non-stop.
When I was 16 years old, I was working at a Goodyear tire store, and my boss actually built an old dirt car, street stock Monte Carlo. Went with him one night, fell in love with it. It was a hell of a race, hell of a party, and a big fight afterwards. I was like, this is it for me. It wasn't long after that, I was driving an old 78 Camaro out of the weeds at that guy's farm. We pulled that thing out and made a race car out of it, and away we went. You know, I think a driver has more to do with the equation going back and racing dirt, whether it's a modified, a late model. You can do more with the race car. You know, the harder you drive it, a lot of times, the better it goes. You can crawl up on that wheel and feel like you made the difference at the end of the night. Asphalt cars, you can't overdrive them. So that was the first thing that I had to learn right off the bat is, oh my gosh, I've got to discipline myself, not overdrive this thing, and that's how you get the most out of it. Truth be told, communicating the right information to your crew and your crew chief so they can do their job and make their appropriate adjustments for you to go faster and do your job is probably 90% of the game in our world. I've always loved late models. You know, my dream was to be a late model driver driving for a living across the country like Daryl and Don do that drive for me. I mean, that was, truth be told, that was my dream, you know. I always wanted a semi. I always wanted a stacker trailer with 2 hot rods in it, and let's go racing. Let's take off with your buddies and go race and chase that dream. Never in a million years did I think it would turn into a Cup Series, and I actually have an opportunity to own 2 you know, dirt late model teams. When you think of iRacing, you don't think of a video game. It's not. It's way above and beyond any of that. You know, dirt racing changes so much. The track changes so much. Being able to capture that, to, you know, experience all those details that surround dirt racing and make dirt racing what it is what makes iRacing so cool, because they did nail all of that. I knew when they came to our shop and scanned cars and went to the detail of getting that car right, I knew that it was going to be over the top, because it blew my mind just the work that went into making sure the car itself was legit. This sport has been around a long time. The competition can't be replaced. And that's what brings people back to the racetrack week in and week out.
Welcome back to the Sunwest Construction Superspeedway Cup Series here on LSRTV. About to go back to green flag racing, and we got about 8 laps to go before this thing wraps up. So you better have bet this is going to be the craziest 8 laps of motor racing you will ever see in your time watching, because these guys have all got an opportunity. Well, for this week, yeah, because we say this every week, because it normally is. Because right now it's Joseph Youngkins, Richard Reagan Jr., the teammates out front ahead of Wofford and Bree. We've got Jorgensen Jr., Jake Champion, Cozy Jr., Berger, and Bartlett up in your top 10. This thing, with Josh Hanna, of course, in 10th place, this thing is going to be lit. So keep your eyes peeled. This thing is not going to be a quiet end to this race. We've got 7 or 8 laps to go now, and we're going to wrap this thing up for the night. These guys are going to go to, never mind 11, they're going to take up to 12.5.
We're running out of notches on the amp, aren't we?
We are, yeah. We're having to create new notches and add power. Can it take it, Captain? As here we go, the pace car pulls off and Cisco's braking. There is Joseph Youngkins gets ready to take the green flag with his teammate alongside, and we'll get another synchronized start here from the GXR guys. As green flag goes out, and the outside does stall a little bit, but it was very synchronized there. Great. Oh, round gets Bartlett. Bartlett got dumped on the start, but Oh, actually, yeah, 2 cars.
That might be
Champion.
actually 3 cars back there. Yeah. That could be a caution if Ron throws it. I don't know. It depends on how many cars
Tiller tipped Harrington, and Bartlett got tipped on his own. So it was only 2 cars that tipped, were tipped, I should say. Tiller took the car with him, he tipped. So unfortunately, that's taken a few of those guys out of this thing. There's a little bit 3 wide up there. 31 goes high, and the 24 Berger comes underneath him.
All right.
The caution now makes this very tight towards the end, of course. Problems, wrecking at the front, and there was our caution. As that one actually
going back to get the replay for the other thing. But
yeah,
Jorgensen Jr. There's the big one. There it is.
Oh my God! Yes, that was old Spencer Preet being sausaged there, along with Joseph Junkins. Actually, it was Junkins that got turned because he got dropped actually pretty hard in that thing. As Wofford got to 2nd place, as you see him there gets turned around by Jorgensen, and in front of the field, we played dominoes.
And it was someone in the comments earlier said, man, they always wreck when we're not talking about it. I was literally trying to go back to get the replay for the incident at the start of the melee there. And next thing we know, just as I cue the replay, they're wrecking. So another big accident. You just see parking lot in front of absolutely everybody. We'll go on board with Ramon Evans. Then we'll wind back and take a look at the incident on the start. But
you know what? We've already said quick scoping on the end of the stage tonight, so I'll take another first-person shooter acronym, I should say, for tonight's broadcast and say, no, well, yeah, multi-kill is one of them. The second one is, of course, the old press F7 to pay respects because the field all died.
Yeah, no, that was... You see Junkins up on the top side, and from there, it's not good news when he's coming down the racetrack. This banking 33 degrees. 12, a 21, 4, 15. Is Jake going to get a piece of it? Maybe, can't tell. There's us. We're on board the 83. There goes Kyle Manger in the 25. He's got some. I think Champion was able to get through it. You see Levine. He's got damage. The 4, the 01 to Travis Brown, and it's just... It's... Well, I'll tell you what. There's going to be a bargain at the local Talladega junkyard for all these.
It's Naz Carnage. Welcome to Friday Night Naz Carnage.
Yeah, Friday Night Naz Carnage. It was a slobber knocker. If we're going to keep going with the wrestling references, it was a slobber knocker out there. Nope, nothing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, I don't really watch wrestling, so unfortunately that one's lost.
I need Cam back for that.
You get Will and Cam into boost.
Okay, so I saw what happened. I saw what you mentioned about Tiller grabbing Harrington there. That was they were all trying to get going, but because the leaders didn't go right as soon as the pace car dropped, that completely changed the face of it, and Tiller gets into the back of Harrington. That was the issue coming to the green. And then, of course, we had that multi-car melee, and yeah, just once again under caution here. And you know, we said we had 6 laps, Rachel, or 8 laps. Now we have like 4 or 3.
It's going to be close, and it's not going to get any better. Like, if we have a caution from the green flag here, that's it, done. We're over.
Yep. Once, of course, though, something to keep in mind, if they take the white flag, after that, anything can happen. It's fine. The white flag will be the last flag displayed on this race. So if they wreck during the white flag, don't matter. It'll be the first car coming back to the start-finish line. Anything else than that, caution flies, it's game over, field is frozen, back to the last timing line, and the lead and the win is given to whoever was out in front. So if you're Richard Reagan Jr., it's something we've seen in C Fixed, it's something we've seen all over the place. I'm thinking you lay back here on the restart, hope they wreck, and bring out the caution, because then...
stack the field.
Yeah, exactly. Stack the field up, and maybe you have an incident like what you saw with Tiller and Harrington, and you just cruise on to a victory, because fuel may... I mean, we don't know. Is fuel still a concern for the 46?
Not even remotely at this point.
Well, that makes it easier, then. Then he could just go flat out either way. Yeah. But
absolutely,
I'd still,
of course.
Yeah, I'd say then, yeah, absolutely. Stack up the field is probably going to be what's coming out of the playbook for the 46 here.
It's a standard move, of course, if you're at the front with a few laps to go. If you want him to have a caution, you want him to stay bunched up. So if you're restarting, you're not got your teammate here anymore, of course, because he just got shreked by the field. But you've got Rodney Wofford, so stacking him might not be the best option because they will push past.
Yeah, and they'll have to get out of the swamp.
They'll go. That's the problem. They will go.
Yeah, And you don't want to get bogged down in the swamp if you I'm trying to make this pun, but it's just not working.
It's no need. It's not necessary.
You said he got shreked by the field. I had to follow up with something.
So this is more Counter-Strike references because I'm trying to turn this into esports.
It is esports.
Kind of esports. It's kind of just like fuzzy racing, but it's.
So speaking of that, since we're under caution again here, and we're just kind of waffling a little bit. Did you hear about the deal that Richmond signed with some of the Peak drivers?
I did not. Do tell.
Yeah, Richmond's going to be sponsoring about 5 Peak drivers. I can get the list up for you here, but they include drivers like Brian Schoenberg and Jimmy Mullis and a couple other guys. So some big-time announcements for that. And from what I understand, that is a full-blown sponsorship deal. Like, that is some actual serious moolah behind that. So apparently, yeah, Richmond going full force on in the future of the Peak Series, at least for now. Is
Richmond racetrack? Or?
Yes, Richmond the racetrack, as well as so it's the Chaos Crew is what they're known as, and going quickly to find their list of drivers, trying to find a little bit more. It was put together by Racing Virginia, which is actually not, it's more than just Richmond Raceway. It's actually a combination of several of the Virginia area tracks, I believe most of them, but the 5 you'll know are VIR, Richmond Raceway, Langley, I believe Sobo is a part of that as well, and blanking on the last track, I'm missing somebody. But yeah, a bunch of all the Virginia tracks kind of have an alliance, and your lineup for that team actually is Marcus Richardson, Nick Ottinger, Jimmy Mullis, Logan Clampett, and Brian Schoenberg. And there's one more driver still waiting to be announced on the 12th, but that's going to be, they're the first track to go out and sponsor a team like this. But from what I understand, this is full-on sponsorship and everything.
It certainly could be interesting, of course. I mean, it's one of those situations where now the Peak Series is really getting the look it deserves, you know? I mean, sim racing is starting to really pop out in the last couple of years, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes, of course. And, well, we're forming up now to go back to green flag, I believe, this time by. So it's time to go racing, boys and girls. We're going to have 3 across the line.
Yeah, 3 laps to go when we get to the line. Richard Reagan Jr. in the GXR machine. You got the Goodwrench Chevrolet, Rodney Wofford. Mark Jorgensen Jr. has made his way up to 30. He's lurking back there. The JBR, the Jackbox radio. Let me double check and make sure that is what it's annotated for. Or the Jack Bolt radio. Okay, that's the radio show that Rod and a bunch of the drivers who take part in this series actually run. I think Cozy's on there as well, and Tiller, a bunch of those guys are all part of that. So that's the behind the scenes on the sponsorship of the 37. You got Josh Hanner, who's made his return to the series this week in that Miller Lite number 2. And Michael Cozy Jr., Mr. Winvow himself, the streamer, looking for more. And he definitely wants to put a W in, put his first mark in the W column this season and try and get a win here from Talladega. But any one of these 6, or maybe somebody else from the top, from outside the top 6, could take a shot at winning this race.
Certainly could, and we're looking forward to seeing just how this goes down, of course. And there's some big boys up there at the front, of course. Reagan Jr. is going to have to hold with the likes of Wofford, Jorgensen, Preet, Cozy, Hanna, Flag, Berger. This is going to be no cakewalk for Reagan Jr. And, well, he's going to wish he had the Star Wars program right now because he's going to need it.
Yeah, just, well, no, you want to turn that off and use the Force to make sure you win the race.
No, I meant the satellite missile defense system rather than, yeah, the lightsaber.
Oh, that's Star Wars.
Yeah, Reagan. Come on. I made a Reagan joke.
You did there. I wasn't in the 1980s. I'm sorry.
No, you weren't. Neither was I, really. I was like 2. Anyway, pace car's about to pull off the racetrack here, and we'll go back to green flag racing for the final time, we hope. Well, it will be the final time, no matter what happens. Next flag ends this race. It will either be a yellow, or it will be a checkered flag. But Reagan Jr. and Wofford is going for a good start, and he's had a good sequence. He's got Cozy, or Preet behind him, who's fast. He's got Hanna on the outside with Flag. Oh, 46 gap to the 88. That's not good for him because he will not have to push. But, whoa. Oh! Jorgensen gets dumped by Cozy Jr. So Junior dumped Junior there as, well, 18 got himself loose first. It's not really Cozy's fault, but that really separated things up at the sharp end as Wofford now has Reagan in his sights. Preet's coming, Cozy's coming, Berger, Hannah, and Flag. Reagan's not got a chance here.
Oh, there goes the 99. That's the second car we've lost here. It's okay. Yeah, it's Thiel. This area around Mike Thiel, the 18, a champion. Bartlett, they're all going crazy back here.
Wofford's going for it on his. Gonna have a problem. Reagan gets sideways. Could Wofford get clear of him in time before the carnage? They save it somehow. Preet gets off the back of him just in time to stop a carnage moment, but unfortunately, Reagan has just been freight trained there by the 3, the 77, 24-2, and the 23 is trying. And he gets tipped as well. And the 3 gets tipped by Cozy Jr. Oh my gosh. It is dump car tonight. Oh my gosh. Everybody is getting dumped. This is like Love Island, the ejected series.
It's like the Royal Rumble out there. Right?
Oh, 24 gets more.
There's another one. Who's left? We got
have these cars got like flippers on them?
Next. Have
these cars got flippers? I think they've all got like flippers on the front, or they've got grease on the bumpers because no one could stay hooked up. Everyone's getting wrecked. It's amazing. Well, Hannah somehow sneaked through here. Flag tries to decide where he wants to go. He has to try and pick a lane as everyone's getting turned. Who next? Will the 77 get dumped? Is everyone pushing so hard right now? They're catching corners in these cars because this is crazy stuff right now as we're on the final lap here. This is it now. Oh, Flag taps Reagan. Can he hold on? Will Cozy Jr. make this thing work? Will Josh Hannah come through here? Flag drops down in line. Hannah's on his own. Could this be an opportunity for the others to get involved in this thing? Come into the line. Bartlett goes up to the top, goes up there with a 31 of Jake Champion. As no one's been tipped for a whole lap, that should be an official award actually at this point because
no, there goes Reagan just as
Hannah opens the wall. He tips 31. It's the white flag's out. It's not going to make a difference right now as Cozy's looking safe. Can Flag sneak through and just steal this race after what's been one of the craziest final few laps here? He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. Can he make it in time? Not going to happen. Crashing behind him across the line as Cozy Jr. will take the win. And that was just plain old crazy.
Have you ever, Rachel?
I have never, in fact, in this instance.
I've never seen the like of that before.
No. That was unusual.
That was nuts. It was like elimination style racing there. Yeah,
Schultz got dumped at the end. This was death race like 5,000 going on right now. Everyone was getting taken out left, right, and center.
I have no words for that one except that Michael Cozy Jr. survived. And
we get Flag in for an interview again
survive.
This season.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to Rod again, but Cozy Jr. gonna lock himself down with a victory. Mr. Winvow himself, and Streamer will be happy. The stands will be happy for that one, and Michael gonna go down and burn it down on the front stretch in what can only be described as one of the wackiest final few laps we've seen in SSC this season, and quite possibly in this league's history. I've never seen the like of that before. Nobody was safe. It was at least 3-4 drivers that all fell victim to getting dumped there at the end.
Don't forget, earlier on, we had that one restart where 3 cars all got dumped simultaneously. So I think that somebody greased up the bumpers on these cars because that was pretty crazy. Anyway, we're going to go through your post-race results now, the final results of the night before we bring this thing to the post-race interviews. And well, Michael Cozy Jr. with the win there in the craziest, literally wacky races run to the end. Rod Flag in second place, Spencer Preet in third, Corey Henry and Victor Bartley, your top 5.
Corey Smith's going to finish 6th, 7th going to go to Scott Warren. Glenn Hedrick is going to finish 8th, 9th to Gary Champion. Mike Thiel rounds out your top 10.
11th place tonight, of course, is Reagan Jr. Somehow holds it back in 11th place. Josh Hannah, Robbie Lyons, David Warren, Justin Levine in 15th.
16th going to go to Mike Schultz. 17th to Dan Harrington. 18th to Jake Champion. 19th going to go to Travis Brown. Mark Jurgensen Jr. rounds out your top 20.
So it does 21st tonight. Andrew Berger, Rodney Wofford, last got on the lead lap in 22nd. Rowan Evans, TJ Cray, Joseph Youngkins, and Kyle Minger, Harry Tiller, TJ Buck, and of course the cars that didn't finish, TJ Buck included, Chris Bassini, Jason Altman, Chris Patton, And non-starters tonight, Brasilia the third and Austin Coop, who apparently did eventually join the second.
Oh, that was who that zero was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was broken on my screen, so maybe issues for Austin.
We're going to go for a quick, short commercial break whilst we get you some drivers to chat to post-race here. But you know what? We're not going to, because we're going to start with third place. We're going to do a reverse order tonight. Cisco standing by with Spencer Preet.
Cisco has to fix the cameras, Rachel, so
Cisco has to fix the camera, so I'm taking Spencer Preet. Spencer, you've just been dumped on me, so third place tonight, fantastic run. What was attached to all your bumpers, because nothing could stay on them?
Oh, man. Yeah, it was a crazy race. It kind of, there's just a ton of, I mean, just weird things that happened, and I kept getting this weird like connection issue where my latency would go through the roof just for like a minute, and then it would go completely back to normal. So I was having to kind of back out of the pack a few times, and eventually cleared up, I think, enough about halfway through that I didn't really have any issues from then on to the end of the race. And then there to the end, I mean, I don't even remember what happened. It was like, I think Wofford was up alongside of Richard Reagan, and I went low, and I was pushing him, and then it looked like they kind of got together or something. Maybe I hooked him. We all got shuffled around, and then people were getting turned left and right. It seemed like one a lap, and then I had a heck of a run coming all the way back. I think I had Manger behind me, and he gave me a good push, and I was able to get all the way up through and somehow finish third. So it was a good night.
You certainly did. Well, anybody like to give a shout out to for the 37 team? We heard you actually had a sponsor on this week. Oh
yeah. Well, shout out to my teammates, Cozy, Travis, Harry Tiller, and also like to shout out first sponsor, real sponsor I got for once. Me and Travis got a podcast, Jack Bolt Radio. Make sure to check that out. I think we'll have another episode going up tomorrow. So
awesome. Check out Jack Bolt Radio then with Spencer Preet. And well, thank you for joining us, Spencer. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Don't know why I said thanks for joining us twice, but you know who came second, which is kind of like twice? We have Rod Flagg. Rod. And he's not here, of course.
Rod Flagg, you got a copy.
His mic's lighting up, but he's not here, so whilst we...
I'm here.
He's here. Rod Flagg's here, the guy who came home to second place. You're making a habit of getting interviewed now, Rod.
I hope so. We definitely want to be up front, and I kind of think I was a little bit lucked into the finish tonight, as there's a lot of things happening in front of me where we were just watching the cars just collide with each other, and who knows. So it was an interesting situation where one car would go to the right, one car would go to the left, and we would just be in the right place at the right times. But excited for Mike and his win tonight. Great win for him. Great second place for the points. Pretty excited.
Oh, absolutely fantastic for you, of course. Who do you want to give a shout out to? And anything you want to promote about Tuesday nights?
Yeah, I want to just again thank the drivers of Superspeedway Cup and all the drivers, all the Truck Series drivers also who participate on Sunday and Sunday and Wednesday nights. And appreciate everything that LSRTV does. You guys are great.
There you go. Well, thanks for joining us, Rod. And finally, we also now have a chance to chat to Michael Cozy Jr. Michael, back at the front.
Yeah, how about that?
You could say more than that. You won the race. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, first off, before I say anything, I got to apologize to Jorgensen and Wofford. I'm not 100% sure what happened because I have yet to go back and look at the replay, but I know on the restart there, it looked like Wofford hopped in front of Jorgensen, and I was already on Jorgensen, and that checked up the whole inside line, and he just got going sideways, and there wasn't really much I could do there. And then it hit the fan again, and I got up behind Wofford, and, I was looking high, and I looked low, and I came back up high, and I think I just clipped him there on the right rear. That one I really want to go back and see because I'm not 100% sure what happened, but I don't want to win like that. I don't want to wreck anybody. I really feel bad because those two guys had probably both greatest chances of winning the race here at the end. But yeah, I mean, it's great to win, but I just hate to take out those guys because I know they're really good, and they should have had a great chance of winning there. But Yeah, it's the one I didn't expect to win. Just kind of, I mean, I was up there in the beginning and wrecked and kind of rode around the back the rest of the race. But there was like 20 to go. Got my reset and just kind of came up through the field. And I guess we played it right. Like thank my teammate Spencer for helping me there at the end, just sealed the deal. So that was man, worked out pretty well.
Certainly did. Well, congratulations, of course, on the win. And who do you like to give a shout out to?
All right, well, I've been waiting to do this for a while, but I got to thank, I'd like to thank my sponsors. Hold on, let me pull up.
There you go.
Yeah, here we go.
You and Preet, camera to the side of the car. There you go.
Yeah, you and Preet have both got sponsors now. What the heck?
Yeah, can we, so we got a lot of sponsors on the car now, so I want to try to get all these guys. I want to thank Indy Racing Images, my man Spencer Preet on the car, Matthew Hibbert, we got Ellis Field, Charles Hemingway, Hunter, Tyler Dugan, Cameron Kane, Harry Tiller, CH Productions, all the way to the back. I think Spencer, he's got JBR, Jack Bolt Radio podcast coming soon. We got Joey Moore on the back. We've got we should have one on the back bumper I'm missing. I apologize, but I think that about colors that. So appreciate all my sponsors. Glad we could finally get them a win. And man, just proud of my teammates, Travis Brown and then Harry Tiller. I don't know where they all finished, but I just want to thank them all.
Well, congratulations either way. Thanks for joining us tonight. Michael Cozy Jr. It wasn't Spencer Preet, that's his friend. Michael Cozy Jr. winning tonight's race, so thanks for joining us. Well, Cisco, that was certainly one of the more interesting ends to the race, of course, as this one ended up being quite a crazy one for this evening. But, well, we're going to wrap things up for the night. Any final thoughts?
I'm still kind of speechless at that last lap. That was an insane last lap, and I don't think we've ever seen the like of it. And I guess if you weren't hooked on Superspeedway Cup by that, well, just tune in next week, because I'm sure we're going to see some more shenanigans. We're going to see some more heart-stopping racing, and we're going to see some more drama on track. And of course, this series always delivers all three of those things, and looking forward to it, Rachel, every Friday night right here on LSR.
Yeah, we certainly are, of course. Well, thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you same time next week for more NAS Carnage. I mean, Sunwest Construction Super Speedway Cup. See you then.